Hey, what is up, fellow Raiders? This is Vulcan Dan, and today we're talking about this new Fusion Legendary that Plarium just dropped because we suddenly had that Fusion warm-up event out of nowhere, and it just feels like the Upper Din Clan fodder. The previous Fragment event just finished, and now we have this new one for Feb. And yeah, it looks like a good arena champion from what I've been seeing, especially if you pair him with Yumiko, which we still do not have in this game. As you can see, Yumiko is mentioned a few times here because that will be the February Valentine's thing that this is going on with. So yeah, looking forward to this one because he does look like he's going to be a good arena champion. Uh, I'm just not sure if he will do well for Plat Arena or if he's just good for your Tag Arena team. But for myself, for sure, if I do get him, he's probably going to be in my arena team because he does seem to be mainly an arena champion. All right, so let's take a look at this guy. His name is KARATO, Fox Hunter, Shadowkin, Legendary Spirit Affinity Attack Type Champion. Looks really cool. Again, I really love the artwork in this game. His A1 is a triple hitter, of course, so that makes him great for Fire Knight. His kit is not necessarily built for Fire Knight, but if you're an early game player and you don't really have many multi-hit A1 champions in your team, he can fill that slot for you. So yeah, triple hit A1 places a weaken, so that's a very good skill. A2, single target places a stun debuff for 2 turns. Now, if you just read those first two sentences about that skill, it seems like a very weak A2, but it will grant him an extra turn and reset the cooldown of this skill if Yumeko is in the same team and this skill kills an enemy. So him being an attack type champion, hopefully he does hit hard like someone like a Trunda. Hopefully not someone like a Suzerain who is an attack type champion but hits really weak. So I hope he does deal some good damage for this A2 to be worth it because he does need for him to kill for this extra feature to proc, which grants him an extra turn and resets the cooldown of this skill. So technically, if you have Yumeko in the same team, he kills someone in the arena with his A2, hits him really hard. So you might want to look for the squishiest, probably the attack champion on the other team. And then you get another turn again. So you can use his A2 again for a chance to kill or a chance to stun. And this is actually a 100% chance to stun. So it says there places a stun for 2 turns. So it's not like a 50% chance. Yeah, this is 100% chance. So either you kill them or you stun them. So I think this is a very good A2. You can really use this many times with multiple turns, assuming you built him really with high attack, high crit damage for this to be able to kill the enemy. So yeah, looks really good. His A3 is an AoE attack that places block active skills, 80% chance. We are expecting that to be able to be booked to 100% chance. Block active skills for 2 turns. You can think of that as something of a 2-turn provoke. You're basically locking out all of their skills for 2 turns. This is very good. Reminds me of Warlord, but of course, not as good because of course this can be affected by block debuffs. Unlike Warlord, of course, it's not a debuff. You're just basically putting all of their skills on cooldown. This one, of course, only for 2 turns. So Warlords is definitely a lot better. But still, this one is a very good A3, 100% chance. And this debuff cannot be resisted if Yumeko is on the same team. Now, I'm thinking that additional line can help, but you're going to want to build him with high accuracy anyway for his A1 weaken to land, for his A2 stun to land. So regardless of if you will have Yumeko on the same team, you're still going to want to build him with high accuracy. All right, so far A3 looks really good. You can really lock out the enemy team, assuming you build him fast enough. And then his A2, assuming you build him with high crit damage, he can really snowball that skill and keep on killing until the entire enemy team is wiped out. Or you can A2 if you're pretty sure that you can kill an enemy and then you'll get an extra turn and then you can fire out your A3 to block out their skills. Yeah, I think this is a really good champion. His passive is kind of unique in that I think he's the only champion in this game that has this kind of passive. Damage inflicted by this champion cannot be decreased by enemy passive skills or masteries. Enemy passive skills such as a Duchess, Norug, Ursuga, yeah, so those are the three champs that come to mind. You do see those in Arena, so he's going to be a good counter for those for those teams that have a lot of those passive skills that prevent you from killing them with one hit. So I think that's going to be really good in Arena. This is not, of course, it is not affected by the passive skills of bosses, so it's mainly great for PvP, for Arena. Also, the damage inflicted by this champion cannot be increased by ally passive skills or masteries either. All right, so I think that's really going to be kind of unique. Damage inflicted by this champion cannot be increased by ally passive skills or mastery. So I'm assuming that this is of course his own mastery. So later on I will give you my suggestions on what masteries can work for him, because we do have a lot of masteries in the offense tree that of course can increase your damage. So those will not help him. So he has to be built in a very unique way that is very different from the other attack type champions that we have. Also, whenever Yumeko dies, instantly grants a turn to this champion and resets the cooldown of each of this champion skills. So one strategy here is that you can actually have a very squishy Yumeko. We actually still do not know what her skills are, if she's going to be an attack type, support type champion, but you can probably have a revive on death champion in your team, or you can have a reviver. Make sure that Yumeko dies, and then you will instantly give this guy a turn, and then all of his skills will be available, whether it's A2 or it's A3. So I really like him, assuming you have Yumeko on the same team, because if you don't, you can't cycle through the A2 once he kills an enemy. It's just a simple single target with a stun, which is very weak. Even though it is a 100% stun, it's still not a very good skill if Yumeko is not on the same team. His A3, I don't really mind. His A3 will be great whether or not Yumeko is on the same team. But yeah, his passive really benefits from that as well. He also has a nice aura, 20% ally crit rate in all battles. So yeah, that's great. Let me just show you my suggestions for his mastery. So this is from a website called raidbro.com. I don't know who created this one, but it's a very helpful website for you to plan your masteries. So this is the route that I'm going with. Of course, you get your crit rate, crit damage. You can get Life Drinker for him to heal himself whenever he's low on HP. You can get this Whirlwind of Death that increases his speed whenever he kills champions. You cannot get skills such as this Heart of Glory, because this increases damage whenever HP is full. That will not work. Grim Resolve will not work either. Shield Breaker will not work either. Anything that says increased damage, that will not work with this champion. That's what I'm assuming. We may be wrong here, that we're not understanding his passive correctly, but from how it's written, from how I understand it, this is what it means. You can't also use Single Out. You can't use Ruthless Ambush. Can't use Bring It Down as well. Wrath of the Slain. Opportunist. Any of these skills you cannot use. Even Kill Streak, Methodical, these are the usual ones that we're getting. We cannot use those. But any of the tier 6 skills from War Master, Helm Smasher, Giant Slayer, and Flawless Execution, all of these are viable, because like Flawless Execution only increases your crit damage, so it does not necessarily, so it's not the mastery that increases your damage. It's your mastery increasing your crit damage, and then your crit damage is the one increasing your damage. So I think you can still use Flawless Execution, but I think for Arena, Helm Smasher is a lot more useful with this 50% chance of ignoring 25% of the target's defense. This is not technically increasing the damage of your champion, so there's that loophole there, but it's giving you the chance to ignore the defense. And of course, War Master and Giant Slayer, mainly for PvE, but they will still work with this champion, I am assuming, because this is an additional damage, not increasing your base damage. So yeah, so I think all any of these tier 6 works, but if you're looking for arena, I would go for Helm Smasher. And of course, for support, just go with the ones for accuracy. Let me move myself here. You can get him Master Hexer there to increase the duration of his debuff, especially that weaken and that block active skill. This one, Sniper, will help as well. Of course, Evil Eye in the arena will work fine. You might want to go for Arcane Celerity, increase the chance of 30% chance of increasing the turn meter by 10% whenever a debuff cast by this champion is removed. So we have a lot of debuff removal in this game in arena, so that might help you guys, and this will of course make him get his next turn quicker. So yeah, so these are my mastery suggestions for this champion. For me, I'm really excited for this one. Of course, I don't have Yumeko. We don't know who Yumeko is. We're assuming that she might be a Void, which might be a little bit of a heartbreaker because it's very difficult to get Void champions in this game. I'm assuming she's Void because most of the pairings that we're getting from Rhodos and Siphi, who else? Sisha and who's that one? Cardiel. Yeah, so those usually have one Void legendary as their partner. We have Minaya and Coronar. So yeah, always one Void. So we're assuming that Yumeko is a Void champion, which of course, as a free-to-play player, will make it very difficult for me to get. But assuming we do get, or let's say we do pull Yumeko, this too will be a great pair in the arena. All right, so that's it. I hope you found this useful. I'm really excited for this new Valentine fusion that we're having in just a few days. It's a very short notice, but I hope you guys are ready for this one. We just finished Upper Din Clanfather. Now we're moving on to the next fusion. All right, that is it for this video. Hope you found this useful. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video.